So I am not going to publicly release the video I created last night after the cops came to let me in, because Auntie didn't leave me the keys, even though Angel's foster mom had expressly told Auntie to leave me the keys. I didn't read her note. Had I read her note, I would have known she didn't even want to come yesterday, but she came anyway. She was going to wait till Monday. She didn't get the furniture, but she came over here. And of course, even though I didn't leave them out for her, she found the checks. She found the checks. She's just sick. My friend Karen said about the Christmas cookies, if Karen were in my shoes, she would smash up all the cookies, mail them back to her aunt with a note saying, you know, shove them up your ass. She also, my neighbor's friend down the street said, you don't want to eat those. That you don't know if they're poisoned. I don't think they're poisoned. I'm not going to eat them, though. I'm not going to eat them. Even though I might want to, I'm not going to. It's sick what my auntie's doing, and she thinks she's doing nothing wrong. She thinks she's doing nothing wrong. And the only reason I think anything to the contrary in her eyes is because I'm crazy. This is sick. This is sick. So here's some of the things I wrote to my friends, to people online here. I'm slowly losing my ability to love, care about anything, including myself, anymore. Maybe I should just give up Omar so I can get the fuck away from here. I put myself in danger yesterday because I just didn't... What happened? Firefox keeps crashing today, I don't know why. Anyway, I put myself in danger yesterday, because I just didn't give a shit. I'm unable to accept that any of this is happening to me. That's the key. Maybe my Oma would be better off away from me for good. This is another one. This is what I plan to do. I think I'm just going to pretend I'm living the olden days, back when electricity did not exist. What need do I have for electricity when I don't have access to a computer or TV? My mom's heat is gas. If I'm forced to put the gas in my name, I'll bundle up big time and keep the heat very low at all times. Because at this point, all that I desperately want is to save up enough money to get far away from this Twilight Zone living nightmare and not look back. Email. That I sent. Here's one I sent to Selena, Karen, the woman who takes care of Angel, and Joe. Why can't Auntie just allow me to live here for free while she goes through the gradual process of evicting me? What is wrong with her? My neighbor friend thinks she's nuts. And she really believes my mom is going to be fine. As long as I'm out of the picture. I'll probably lose weight while living under unpleasant pioneer circumstances. I will have light from the outside during the day. My mom's stove is electric, so I'll no longer be able to use a stove, microwave, toaster, etc. I need to save up fucking money or else I'll be trapped to her my aunt's mercy forever. There's one email. Sent this to Angel's foster mama, who's now her real mama. Hopefully she'll end up keeping her, but... Thank you, and I forwarded it to my friends. Thank you for being one of the few people in my life, my mom's life, able to see right through my aunt's bullshit. My mom is not poor. My aunt is behaving as if my mom doesn't have a $58,000 401k, doesn't have $17,000 in the bank, doesn't get $1,700 monthly income. Auntie has taken my mom's TV from me when she could just buy my mom a new TV, used one, whatever. My mom's not poor. Auntie's even less poor than my mom. Why is my aunt doing this to me? She put her 3-page sugary sweet note to me inside a bag filled with her homemade Christmas cookies. She thinks she's doing nothing wrong, and my craziness is the only reason I would ever think anything to the contrary. She thinks she's doing nothing wrong, and that, my craziness, is the only reason I would ever think anything to the contrary. And then, did you stress to her that I had no keys? She forgot to leave the keys for me. I took a taxi home, and the kind taxi driver wound up having to wait a significant amount of time while the cops arrived to let me in out of the bitter cold. I should have just let her call a locksmith. I trusted her to remember to put the goddamn keys back under the log out back where I left them for her. I had to call the fucking cops to get in last night. I was drunk, too. And I created a video that you guys are not going to get to see. Maybe some people on this planet can access private videos, but everyone can't. And it's not like the video has nudity in it or something, you know. I just am in absolute agony. Why can't you leave me alone? Mama can't believe everything's happening to her. Mama doesn't understand why the local person can't cut your nails as short as they always cut them for $7 fucking bucks or $6, the Mexicans in California. What the hell's the difference? Why can't she cut your nails shorter? She makes excuses. Oh, they grow with it quick and I can't do it. All right, but I've had other people do it. I think you're just trying to get me to cut. You're like, if you come back every 2, yeah, I'm not going to get my Aunt Norma's nails cut every 2 to 3 weeks. Ridiculous. You should be able to get them shorter. Other people have gotten them shorter, a lot shorter. And you give me your little bullshit. That's how it has to be. The quick is there and it grows with the nail, so you really can't cut it. All right. If you say so, I don't want to not believe you, but I do know that the place in California, in LA, where I used to get Omar's nails done by, you know, sorry, but that's it, done by Mexicans, and for cheap. And they got them cut short, and they never nicked them. So why can't you do the same? Yeah, it's a mystery. I don't know. I guess until I get to move somewhere else and have somebody new. Remember, the woman takes Angel. This place to be groomed, and it's, you know, so she would take my Omar there for me. You know, she would go take me there. It's not super far away. She, of course, wrote to me, Omar needs you, I know, but this is just sick what's happening to me. I can't really take it. I really can't, people. Alright, I will play you a tiny part of this. But I'm not going to upload this. It's kind of, I was really drunk, so this is not my constant state, of course. If it was my constant state, I would be doing it now. But I was just sitting on the bed crying like that last night. I was really drunk, remember? And I had finally just read Auntie's note. After having to talk to her on the phone, which I didn't want to have to do, and it was just like a distant, like I'm just like listening to her, blah, 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 whatever, saying blah, 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 whatever, and I had to call her because I needed her to know that I got locked out because of her. Do you want me to bring the keys? No. I don't want to come face to face with you. There's no need for you to bring the keys. The cops are coming. I didn't have her bring the keys. I don't want her to. The cops are on their way. They're going to let me into my house for free. Why do I want Auntie to come? I don't want to have anything to do with her. I don't want to come face to face with her. I'm sickened by this whole thing. Alright, we're going to fast forward here. On. know my enemies would love to see this video. I'm in absolute agony. Justifiably, understandably. What basically happened is I've been suppressing these feelings. I'm trying to stay strong for Omar. And the alcohol brought it out. That sums it up, right? So this is the name of the video, but I'm not going to release it publicly. This is me extremely intoxicated and trapped in a state of pure agony, not for children's eyes. You will have to carefully watch some of my other recent uploads to know from where this pain of mine derives. I was drunk. This is not my state of being at all times. Recent events in my life plunged me into a state of shock. I had been keeping my feelings in check and desperately trying to remain strong for the sake of my pug dog, but excessive alcohol consumption on my part obviously brought to the surface feelings I had been doing my very best to suppress. That about sums it up, huh?
In my power to make sure I don't interrupt your life or what, like I'm nothing, like I'm just what the fuck, you leave me alone with Christmas cookies, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I wrote this to Karen, note cookies / cookies part of her game. She has convinced herself and everyone around her that she is a wonderful, generous human being, and I'm just crazy and selfish for responding to her kindness towards her sick sister like I have done, you know, and responding in that bad way or whatever.
Leave me Christmas cookies and talk to me like I'm nothing.
And Karen wrote, I'm glad you were able to take off and go. No, you wouldn't be glad. I put myself in danger, Karen. Seedy, not high-class establishments. And I actually was hanging out where I used to live in that shelter for months, so not good. I'm lucky something didn't happen to me. It's good for you to get out of that house sometimes.
If you think I'm crying over the fucking money, I was trying to get my wife to go to assisted living and sell up everything. So don't even think for 1 second because I say so much fucking money. This is not our money.
Like I said, Karen said she would smash the cookies and mail them back and tell her, if it was her aunt, to shove them up her ass. Careful, no, you jump, you could get hurt, knucklehead. That's why I don't let you up on here. Why can't you just leave me alone? You had all your treats today. Can't you just sit and relax and leave me alone? Let me be on the computer? It's probably going to be my last night to be on the computer. See, Auntie she doesn't understand. I am not going to call ahead of time. I'm going to force her to shut it off on me, and then I'll turn it back on. I don't know how long it will take, but I can deal with it for a while. Like I said a couple of days ago, I'm sure it doesn't take that long, especially in the middle of winter. You know, so it should be it's an emergency priority. But no, she wants me to not have her do it, to call up and have it be put in my. That's what she wants. She hasn't turned it off. She doesn't want to have to turn it off. I know her game. I'm not playing it. My neighbor friend who instantly She sees Auntie's bullshit. I've read her the text from the auntie that liked me, calling me a godsend to my mom, and you don't cause your mom's breakdowns any more than I ever did. Your mom hates anyone who calls 911 on her, puts her in the hospital. That's why I became evil and her half-sister whenever I had to hospitalize her. Now you know how I felt. All those times I had to hospitalize your mom. Yeah, and there was no one like you to go and poison my mom against you, Auntie. So my mom would just have to suck it up and decide to love you anyway, despite the fact that you had to put her in the hospital and she felt you were doing it for no reason. But no, it's a different story when it's me, right? Unfucking believable. This is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. This was a camera, and I totally get where you're coming from. If my two-faced cunt were to have done that to me, I would have put the homemade cookies in a trash bag, smashed them up, and sent them back to her with a note with instructions to shove them up her ass. Sick. You need Ober and he needs you, yeah, but not if I'm not in any condition to take care of him. Not when he's the reason I have to stay here, because I could just leave if I didn't have him, you know. Auntie thinks she's doing absolutely nothing wrong, and Karen wrote, yeah, I'm not surprised. I can't stop her from coming in, Karen. She would just get a locksmith. She can legally enter this home anytime she wants. That's why she wrote in the note, you know, I know you call me evil and you think I'm evil. Don't worry, once I get your mom's stuff, I'm never going to come there, blah, 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 blah. Once you get my mom's stuff, if you're watching this, Auntie, you have no reason to ever come here. Oh, that was from Joe. Don't ever give her the key. She can come in here. I don't think Joe understands. I don't understand. I don't understand how this can happen to me, and I have no rights at all. I don't get it. She's saying that Auntie probably took the keys just to be a bitch. I don't think so. I would be locked out. She just forgot. She shouldn't even. I should have let her not come with a locksmith. I didn't want to read the letter. I'm sorry. I was leaving for the day. Do you think I wanted to read that fucking letter from her when it's 7 o'clock? I'm going to be leaving for the day. I was going to be leaving at 8:30 to catch the bus. Do you really think I wanted to read that fucking letter from her? I didn't know what it said, and I didn't want to read it, so I just figured I'll ask the woman who takes care of Angel to call Auntie. She needs to talk to her about Angel anyway. You know, I'm sure they're going to sign ownership over to her. And I said, will you please tell her that I left the keys, I hid them in the back, but I don't have keys. I couldn't find my mom's keys. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I bet Auntie didn't even make sure. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if my mom actually has those keys, if she had them in her pocket when she got taken to the whatever. I didn't find them in her coat pocket. I didn't find the fucking keys. We have one fucking key that Auntie now has. But fortunately, I don't need to leave the house, so, you know, I don't need to leave the house. I don't need to get the fucking mail. It's too cold to walk, Omar. Yeah, I'd never imagined she'd take the fucking key. It's just ridiculous. And as for the TV, no. She's like, if we had a TV, if your mom still has a roll TV, I'll take that one. Otherwise, I'm taking her TV. Yeah, God forbid you just buy a TV with my mom's, you know, substantial amount of money, Auntie. God forbid you let me keep the TV, even though I'm not going to have Comcast, but I could watch DVDs without having internet, without having, cable, whatever. God forbid you do that, huh? Acting like my mom's fucking poor. Sick. That is sick. So Joe says your mother doesn't want you living there, and your aunt doesn't want you there, and is trying to kick you out for all intents and purposes so she can sell the damn house and salvage as much of your mother's money as she can. Yeah, that was what I had suggested, that she sell the house. Of course, I thought if she would sell the house, she would give me some, instead of forcing me to stay here and then evict me, she would give me some money to start a new life, but that's not going to happen. Bitching to people all day over the internet won't and hasn't helped her situation. Yeah, well, it has provided some support to me, Joe. I'm definitely not going to make this easy for Auntie. As in, I'm not going to call up the electric and gas and say, well, my aunt's going to be calling, she fucked me over, and I want to do this ahead of time so there's no interruption to service. Nope, I'm going to force her to shut it off on me. I'm going to force her to do it. I'm not going to make this easy for her. Fuck her. My mom is not poor. She could let me stay here. My auntie could let me stay here and not pay anything. Just, not forever. I don't want to be here forever. I just don't have a penny. I gave back the money, Just says it's going well, but I'm on disability. I'm on disability already. I'm not sending it to anybody. Joe wouldn't read this. He said it made his head spin. Karen read both of them. So I'm going to proceed to read them to you guys. Joe's telling me to go on welfare or get a job. Yeah, I'm less able to work than ever before. It's like this life keeps pushing me and pushing me. I can't take it anymore, I told you when Auntie was my friend, I was expressing, I'd like to not be on disability forever. And she's like, why? Once you're on disability, they'll give it to you. They usually don't take you off of it. A friend would say, yeah, I hope someday you can be supportive of yourself again and not have to be on disability anymore, Laura. But she didn't say that. Because I was saying, I fear that I might lose it, which I could lose it at any moment. You never know. And she's like, once they give you that, they don't take that away from you. She was showing her true colors. I let it go. Again, remember, I was letting everything go. She got her little digs in. I let her do that. I was adhering 100% to our agreement to be civil to one another, to, you know, play nice for the sake of my fragile mom. In the end, she just, I can't take it. Joe doesn't understand. He just doesn't understand. Maybe if he watched that video I created last night, he would understand how precariously I am balanced on the edge at all times. And this latest shit could so easily topple me over it. Look at that ledge. Because it's just so unfair. I was trying so hard to help my mom. I was doing everything. It's just so sick what's happening to me. And no, I don't get upset when Joe writes stuff like that. He does it out of love. When my enemies write shit like that, they're not doing it out of love. Okay? Joe does it out of love. And I know that. Okay? He's not coming from a place of just disgust with me or, you know, whatever. Disdain for me. That is the difference between a friend and a non-friend, even if it's just a friggin' internet friend. Hear that, people? That's the difference. Of all the things I might have imagined, I never imagined that. Never in a million years. I'm sick of that. Sick. So sick. I want you to bear in mind how my mom has gone back and forth. It hasn't been this thing where she's just loved her sister all along. You guys know how that whole 7 years of hell and court dates and all that happened, because my mom went against her sister. But her sister, as you know, will always just say, oh, your mom only goes against me because she's mental ill and that causes her to go against my wonderful self. Oh, but it's a different story, isn't it, if it's me, Auntie, my mom's going against, isn't it? You two-faced, manipulative, conniving, opportunistic bitch. Oh, God. Sick. Sick. Oh, and know what my neighbor friend said that I was unaware of? She said my mom can get, and probably is going to get, government, it's like she'll get paid by the government to be taking care of my mom. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what tell me, I don't know. fucking sick and fucked in the head. At least I admit I'm sick. People that think that, like Joe was saying, the people that think they're the sanest are often actually the craziest in this world. You guys think that's true? A lot of times, people would stress, like my aunt does, that they are just the sanest people in there forever, and none of no mental illness to speak of, are often nasty and are really you guys have to realize that before my mom got hospitalized, my aunt saw my mom one time, that's it. They went out for breakfast. My mom also got a manicure or a pedicure or something. Did you realize that? I'm not going to betray the friend's trust by saying specific details. Suffice to say, had a friend here, okay? Flew her here. My mom wanted to do it. My mom, who's not poor, neither is Auntie, going to repeatedly stress that now that I have about $600 to my name. I gotta hire someone to fix the screen door because it won't, I don't know what happened. It was working fine yesterday. The police had it wide open to break in here with their tool or whatever, but that shouldn't have fucked up the screen door just having it wide open. I don't know what happened. All I know is it was working fine yesterday, and now it's not. So, I don't like not having a fucking screen door. I like to be able to lock the screen door. Anyway. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, what was I say? Auntie saw my mom once. Okay? My friend, my mom and I's mutual friend, learned the hard way. Because you can talk to my mom on the phone, and you can listen to me bitch, and you can think, oh, I'm exaggerating, I'm this or that. My friend came here and couldn't even stand to stay. Had to get her a flight back. She had to cut her trip early because my mom was absolutely driving her fucking nuts. Nuts. Okay? That's why she says to me afterwards, now I know what you were coming from, Laura. I didn't believe it before. You can't know unless you live it. Okay? Auntie can sit there and in her delusional brain think that, and tell my mom too, so my mom's eating it up like candy, that I'm the cause of all my mom's breakdowns and everything will be fine if I'm out of the equation. Okay? I think Auntie really believes that. Or else she's trying to convince herself and everyone else of that. Because she doesn't live here. She can just listen to my mom bitch and cry. She yells at me. She does this and she does that. And she can see my mom repeatedly going in these mental hospitals and she can conveniently blame me. Meanwhile, what happened? These doctors in these mental hospitals have switched her meds all around and repeatedly fucked up, haven't they? The one who took her off of everything except Zyprexa and that didn't work, that didn't last, it wasn't enough. The one who put her on lithium and didn't explain to the family that my mom could possibly become toxic, or you have to be real careful because my mom eats and drinks in a vastly different manner inside of a mental hospital she does on the outside. She eats really healthy. He didn't bother because he's arrogant as hell, and that is what they all are, and that's why when she wanted back in that same fucking hospital, and I was devastated, and that's what sparked, that was the catalyst to the end of me and Auntie's over a year pseudo fucking friendship that I had desperately tried to maintain for the sake of my mother. Auntie won't do the same thing for the sake of my mother, yet she loves my mom so much. Bullshit. Bullshit. She calls up my mom when my mom's locked up in a mental hospital, calls up my mom just to bitch and complain about me. Do you think I would ever do that to my mom or to anybody locked up in a mental hospital? Call them up just to complain about my own problems? I never even mentioned the fight I'd had with Auntie. Never even, until my mom, never mentioned it to my poor mom. Never mentioned any problems I was having. Because none of my problems are anything compared to my poor mom being locked up in a mental hospital, Auntie. But you did it, and you've done it in the past. My mom's told me, and I know she's telling the truth. She would have no reason to make it up, okay? Jesus fucking Christ, is this bullshit. It's bullshit. Anyway, our mutual friend couldn't stand it, and she had a new appreciation for what I'd been telling her, because it's easy to sit there when you're not living here and think X, Y, and Z, or to be my mom's friend and hear her venting to you about blah, 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 whatever, and then you experience it firsthand and you realize that I was dealing with an impossible situation, trying to do my best, but I'm not perfect, okay? Who is perfect? Holy fucking shit. My mom's at Auntie's total mercy now. My mom has to sit there, and if Auntie bitches and complains to my mom about how I'm so mean to Auntie and I call her evil on the internet or whatnot, my mom will just blah, 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 whatever, you know. Auntie got what she'd wanted. She hated that me and my cousin helped my mom fight against Auntie a couple years ago, okay? Back when my mom sent a letter to my cousin that said, among other things, I wish Auntie had died instead of my sister who did die. Okay? Auntie can say all she wants. Oh, that was just her illness talking. Yeah, it's her illness talking. But when she hates my fucking guts, it's not her illness talking, is it, you fucking manipulative, opportunistic, evil, evil, evil cunt! Let's see. My friend down the street, she was like, yeah, I give it a couple of months. Does anybody not delusional knows that I didn't cause my mom's illness? Okay? My mom was showing signs of fucking dementia, and that doesn't go away. If you think if it doesn't work out, I'm just even going to tell me, she won't. She won't tell me. And if she sent my mom back here, after say, you know, because she decides she can't handle it, yeah, my mom shouldn't live alone, you know. I talked to my neighbor friend, I'm like, oh, and I'm being negative. Remember, Auntie a couple months ago threw up her hands, you know, pissed off that the stupid hospital was discharging my mom too soon, the second hospital to do that in a row, okay? She belongs in a nursing home. Yet when I threw that back in her face, the same shit she had said to me, and you guys know how devastated I was at that, and I was trying to do everything in my power to make that not become my mom's reality, right? To protect her from herself and her delusion that she can live alone, right? Which is what Auntie's letting her do now. My neighbor friend's like, and I said, but I mean, if Auntie's letting my mom live there and cook and everything, you know? But I mean, because like Auntie, when Auntie gave that little deal or whatever to me and I turned it down and I was saying about how you had said oh, you don't know she's going to wind up in a nursing home. Why do you have to be so negative? Why can't we just try this? And then I sarcastically texted, like, you better hope she doesn't burn your house down. Okay? Accidentally burn your house down. And I say that not because she was in a situation where she repeatedly left the stove on. No. Okay? We all can do that. We can all make mistakes. She was showing signs of dementia. That only gets worse. And she wasn't cooking. You know, she didn't have an opportunity to be cooking like she can do all the time now by herself in her new apartment, all by herself. See? It only takes once. It only takes once. She did lay down. I remember that time that chicken, she was supposed to take the chicken out. She had the timer, and I went to bed, and I woke up like 5 hours later or something, and the oven was still on. And she went and laid down, and then I asked, I'm like, why, this was whenever, and why didn't you take the timer in with you? You know what I mean? It only takes once. That's all I'm going to say. And okay, I'm going to hope, like the neighbor friend said, you know, hopefully nothing's going to happen to your mom or whatnot, but Auntie is delusional. I really, in her little, I want to try to make my sister well again. She can tell herself that all she wants. She can think that my mom's illness, my mom's been schizophrenic for 38 years now and been in and out of mental hospitals, but my mom's illness is all my fault. All her breakdowns over these past few years are my fault because I'm her biggest stressor in her life, and none of this would have happened. Who knows if it would have happened? If I hadn't been here, other things could happen. Her friends, the husband died, but her friends are huge stressors. My mom would have them stay here. My mom would have had them stay here, and they stress her out because she had to call the police on them one time. She had to get them removed or send them home in a taxi. I don't know if she called the police, but she had to. And then she used to call me in L.A. and I'd say, well, why do you stay friends with them? Because they're exciting. So you're choosing it, Mom. You know, you're choosing that. They were very volatile. They're the ones that borrowed a lot of money from her and kept borrowing money from her, and they're total users. She used to cry to me sometimes in L.A. of what they had done. They did something really crazy. My mom let them borrow her car, and they drove up a fucking mountain, my mom told me, and in the snowstorm, and they could have gone over the edge and died. You think I want to be hearing all this? This is before I was living here. My mom would cry to me. They're staying here for the weekend because they'd always get her. They're users, and they want to stay here. You know, she was pissed when I'm here, her friend, because she wants to come here. You know what I mean? So, and my mom would say, they're going to drive me to another breakdown, you know what I mean? So even if I had not been a part of the situation, my mom's sister still died, and that devastated my mom, okay? Her other sisters, nothing would have happened with the power of attorney or whatnot, nothing would happen, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. If I wasn't a part of the equation, I never would have known anything, you know? So Auntie basically just wishes, like Joe said, she's always wanted you out of the way. So she can convene to say X, Y, and Z, you're the biggest stressor, you cause your mom's breakdowns, you know, and even if I had not been here, there could have easily been other stressors in my mom's life, okay? If my mom's so fragile that even if I don't want anything to do with my cousin, her niece, who has treated me like shit, and I've repeatedly taken it, but at the end I'm like, no. They came home from the family cookout. I'm not talking to her. I'm not saying goodbye the next day. She left on Monday. I'm not talking to her. I'm not saying goodbye. And my mom was devastated over that. How come you don't like her? She's really nice. Yeah, she's nice to you, Mom. She's nice to you. Auntie's nice to you. Your niece treated me like crap. But I'm not telling you not to like her. I'm telling you, you can't expect me to like her, somebody who treats me like crap. And see, my mom can. See how fragile she is? And that wound up causing her to, it led into another breakdown. Because she's so fragile, she can't even deal with me not liking her family members who treat me badly. Is that fair to me? No. So Auntie's little, oh, you're being a stressor or whatnot. No, because you wanted everything to just go along fine, where you have all this control over my mom, and I'm never supposed to question anything because it's none of my business, and da-da-da. Basically, I don't matter. That's the bottom line. I don't fucking matter. I'm my mom's beloved to her daughter. I was her sole heir. We know that's not going to stay the same, despite Auntie's little, I want to try to preserve that house for your future. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit. I just don't matter, period. I never have. To my family or whatnot, okay? I don't matter. And they're pissed off that I matter to my mom. Not anymore, right? Auntie finally got her fucking wish. My mom finally turned against me with Auntie's help. My extremely beaten down, extremely over-medicated, frail, on too many cyclists and too high a dosages mother, who's showing signs of dementia, who loves, who's going to cling to every word of Auntie that my mom's fine and she'll be fine as long as I'm out of the picture, etc., etc., etc. Auntie finally got her fucking wish. That was not verbally abusive to my mom. I did. There was back in the past, I got better. Everyone has to, learn or whatever. I have lost my cool before, admittedly, and even that advocate that time, I was, saying, who's perfect, None of us are perfect, Laura. But I learned, and I got better and better. And over these last several months, when she's so fragile and keeps getting in these mental hospitals, I was walking on eggshells with her, okay? But to her, even me getting upset that, what's the big deal that I took Angel out without a leash? She walked beside me, nothing happened, yeah. Nothing happened. Nothing happened, Mom, and you think just because one time nothing happens, it'll be like that always. I wish I could give you other examples of how my mom, I don't know if it was something on the news or whatnot, but there was something where that's what my mom thinks. My mom thinks if something happens once, that it can never happen differently ever again, and that's severe mental illness, okay? Just because her dog didn't run away, because it didn't see anything that would spark its interest, her Angel's interest in, another time you could take her out and then you'll be wondering why she's dead or hit by a car and it'll be your own goddamn fault, but it's your illness doing it. So yeah, if I were auntie, I'd be very concerned about my mom cooking. My mom's not used to cooking. My mom was showing signs of dementia, and that could certainly carry over to her leaving something on the stove or whatnot. I don't know. All I know is that if you cannot find something that's right in front of your face, literally right in front of your face, not hidden at all, there's a problem with your brain. Okay? You can't see something right in front of your face, Mama, there's a problem with your brain. But I'm bad, and I'm mean, and I'm negative to say that. Or to even think it. Okay? So if my mom lost something, even something that we both use, and couldn't find it, her latest thing, she'd never been like this before. Remember, she turned on me this last time, and then she changed her mind, and then look what, but whatever. She's not going to let me look for it. Mama, can I please look? No. I'd stay out of my room. You're not looking for it. It's gone. It's missing. Buy another one. That was her thing. Buy another one. Just buy another one. Yeah, and we buy another, like, say, a pair of scissors, and the same thing will happen again. Okay? I'm not upset that she loses something that we both use. I am upset, but I bit my tongue. I didn't say anything. I'm upset that she won't allow me to search for something. To her, if she can't find it, it disappears. She even thinks, like, ghosts take it or something. She never used to be like that. She used to let me find stuff if she couldn't find it. Now, no. Now she won't let me look. That was the last thing. She wouldn't let me look. Okay? I was dealing with an impossible situation. My friend we had gone, I won't even tell you what happened when we got out. Okay? But my friend, we went out, so I had been drinking, and I'm in bed hungover, and because my friend had came to, to watch out for my mom too, and they're supposed to be friends and whatnot. And my friend was upset that I wasn't out there. My mom was driving her nuts. Absolutely nuts. Just completely selfish and upset if my friend's phone even rang or I don't know. She was just, I wasn't there. I was sleeping. And my friend was my mom was driving her nuts. I don't know if my friend could even describe it, but my friend adored my mom, and she had to go home early. She couldn't stand it. Okay? And this is the same woman that my aunt's just going to blame me. I'm the problem. Everything was fine. I want to try to make my sister well again. Why do you have to be so negative? Why can't you just put your mom ahead of you for a change? That's all I've been doing, Auntie. All I've been fucking doing. Well, you have stepped back and done nothing. You saw your sister once this entire time where I've been going absolutely crazy trying to help her, save her from herself. You saw her once, that one time in all those weeks. My mom used to cry to me how you didn't give a shit about her and only was concentrating all the time on that old man who eventually died and probably left you more than you'll ever admit. The old, extremely mentally ill, relative now pretty rich man. And my mom would cry to me. She doesn't even care about me. All she does is focus all her attention on David. Yeah, I know, Mom. And now you have turned back to her and rejected your fucking daughter. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable, people. unbelievable to me. This is just unbelievable. 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 This is just sick.
I will never be returned to. You take that any way you want, but it's the truth.
Sick. This is all sick. I know the truth. Nobody was living here but me and my mom. I know the fucking truth. This is sick what's happening to me. Sick. Absolutely sick. From Karen, did Auntie make a reference to somebody said in a YouTube video? Yeah, she watches my videos. She knows I call her evil and you think I'm out to get you and I just want to save my sister. Da, da, da. And you're mean to express anything but a positive attitude about that. The woman who takes care of Angel laughed. She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, she thinks the breakdowns, my mom's breakdowns are all my fault, and as long as I'm out of the equation, my mom's going to be fine. She want to try to make her sister well again, and the woman who takes care of Angel, like, she's not going to be able to do that. The woman who takes care of Angel was one of the ones who was saying my mom, was going to belong in some kind of home or something. And she based that not just on what I would tell her, but on things she witnessed with my mom. Like my mom not paying attention and almost sitting on the dog and not even looking and sitting. I've seen her do that more than once. Another example where you have to, get her to understand, yeah, she should be careful. She can she could kill the dogs, either of them sitting on them. When takes care of her, she told me, yeah, I had to yell at her. I had to say, hey, what are you doing? You're about to sit on Angel. See? Well, my mom's fine. She's fine. All her breakdowns are my fault. I'm out of the picture now, and mom's gonna be perfectly fine. Even sicker thing is, Auntie won't tell me. If I'm proven right, which hopefully I won't be proven right, but if I am, Auntie won't tell me. I guarantee you she won't tell me. So, let's do this. Joe refused to read this. He told me he couldn't stand it. Karen read it. I know it's hard to read. I think Joe thinks that I can work. I think he's wrong. I think that I might have had a chance to, if I had had any chance to breathe or whatnot, but I haven't had any chance to breathe, any chance for anything, and now this is just going to set me backwards psychologically just to such an extent that, but Joe's not going to understand that because he's not experiencing it. And he doesn't watch my videos, so. This is really long. I don't know if you guys will be able to follow it. I think Karen was able to follow it, but I'm not sending it to anybody. I just wrote it. Alright, my aunt, who is my enemy and whom I know via my mother's own words, because my mom's told me before, all she does is talk about you and this and that, and why do you do that to her, why do you do this to her, and Doesn't matter what she does to me. You know, I have the text where she calls me a nutcase and a head case and etc. Doesn't matter in Auntie's eyes what she does to me. She'll gonna complain to my mom, who's locked up in a mental hospital, and my mom would then later tell me, she says, "Why do you do this to her? Why do you treat her that way?" I know, typical bully. If you get, you know, they can do whatever they want to you, but God help you. You know, how dare you fight back? That's why my enemies a long time ago, you know, with that Czech River thing or whatnot, were just making me out to be total nothing in this life. And if I said anything good, and Auntie's done this too, but if I say anything good about myself, if I point out any good qualities I might have, then I'm a narcissist. So you can put me down and act like I'm total shit, that I'm worthless, I'm whatever. Auntie's done it too. But Auntie's done the same thing to me. And then, but if I fight back by pointing out, you know, good things about myself, then I'm a narcissist. See how ridiculously, that's insane. That's insane. That's just like a bully. I'm sure we've seen that in movies, where you fight back against the bully, and the bully's just like, how dare you do that to me? I can do anything I want to you, but how dare you do anything to me in retaliation? I think I've seen movies like that, where a bully, you know, somebody who's tired of being bullied fights back, and then the bully is just so, like, taken aback and indignant, like, how dare you do that to me? I'm only allowed to hurt you. You're not allowed to hurt me. Oh. Anyway. My aunt, who is my enemy and whom I know via my mother's own words, revels in poisoning my mother against me, went behind my back and obtained both guardianship and conservatorship over my mother, while my mother was locked up inside a mental hospital and irrationally blaming me for her being in there. My aunt accuses me of verbally abusing my mother, in parentheses, something I deny, and I suspect my aunt also told the judge I was taking financial advantage of my relatively well-off mother, who used to love me and who has always wanted to help me out. I am disabled. I was approved for SSDI in 2012. I was not paid at all to care for my mom over these past 4 years, but I did live rent-free in the home my mother owned. My mom and I tried to live a very healthy lifestyle, and my $1,000 a month disability check understandably didn't go far. My mom got $1,700 a month income, but as of about 1.5 years ago, also had about $29,000 in the bank on top of her long time, $60,000 401k. That was the end result of her managing to work at the same company for 22 years, despite her often crippling illness. If my mom... Oh, this was in my mind. If my mom passed away, all her assets were... This was when we were living together. If my mom passed away, all her assets were going to go to me. And if my mom wound up in a nursing home, something many people around me believed would inevitably become my mom's sad fate sooner rather than later, all my mom's assets would go to the government. Under these circumstances, why shouldn't I have used my mom's money to make... life better for both my mom and me, and whose business was it anyway? My mother, and then parentheses, my mother and I, two beloved to us senior dogs whose myriad of health problems caused us to rack up huge vet bills. My mother and I spent our money on home repairs and on things for our home. My mom willingly gave me thousands of dollars so that I could fly to California and ship back to my mom's home all my journals, poems, songs, essays, etc. that were in a storage unit I've been paying on for years because my dog and I had escaped from my longtime abusive boyfriend, and I had had neither the time nor money to pack up and ship my precious-to-me writings and whatnot to my mom's home. My mom was her own person, and her money was hers to do with as she pleased. My mom was actually the person who, in 2012, sent me the money to fly me and my dog back to my home state. My mom was actually the person who, in 2012, sent me the money to fly me back home to my home state and live with my mom. To live with my mom, I should say. One can only imagine the sob story my aunt gave to the judge, who did not know me from Adam, who recently granted my aunt both guardianship and conservatorship over my locked-up mentally ill mother. Parentheses, I didn't even know it was possible to get guardianship, conservatorship over somebody locked up inside a mental hospital and unable to contest anything. Regardless of what horrible things I know my aunt told that judge about me, isn't everyone innocent until proven guilty? And shouldn't I, as my mom's only child, sole heir, not anymore I'm sure, and formerly beloved to her daughter, whom she chose to make her healthcare proxy instead of her sister, who had been my mom's healthcare proxy for many years, be allowed to contest the absolute power a powerful stranger chose to grant to my aunt 100% behind my back? I know my aunt's not lying about any of this. I know my aunt accessed the joint bank account I had opened with my mom because I was her living caregiver, paying all the bills from her monthly pension and Social Security checks. And somebody needed to be able to access my mom's money in order to pay her bills during those unfortunate times she had to be hospitalized for weeks at a time. My aunt knew I wasn't good with money. My aunt didn't care. My aunt just wanted to have me handle everything so that my aunt could focus on her own family members' own health, own problems. And yeah, that is the fucking truth, people. Don't care what you want to believe to the contrary. I'm not a druggie or alcoholic. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't gamble. My mom and I opened a joint bank account with my aunt's blessing because my mom kept breaking down, something my conniving, two-faced, opportunistic aunt has convinced herself and my easily manipulated mother was all my fault. I admittedly use my mom's money to make both her life and my life better. It's not my fault my mom doesn't understand how much things cost, how expensive organic food is, etc. My sick mother can't suddenly decide she's upset and hates me because I have spent so much of her money that she doesn't even need. But look how easily my aunt is able to twist everything around. My aunt can not only go around telling everyone I stole all my mentally ill mother's money, a total lie, but also telling everyone I yell at my mom all the time, something my mom loves to say to people in order to elicit sympathy from them. Of course, my mom, whom I and some people close to me know was showing the first signs of dementia, and whom I did the very best I could with under a nearly impossible living situation. And of course, my mom, and that was all in parentheses, is going to cling to her sister's uplifting declaration that all of my mom's breakdowns are my fault, and my mom will be perfectly fine. I was simply removed from the equation. My aunt knows that my mom will turn on anybody. Hear this, people? Because my aunt admitted it to me in text when she liked me, and so we had a pseudo-friendship going on for over a year. For a long time. At that point, it wasn't over a year, I don't think, but it was quite some time. My aunt knows that my mom will turn on anybody who calls 911 on her. My mom had numerous breakdowns when I was living thousands of miles away, and my aunt had to be the, in quotations, bad guy and get my mom the help my mom clearly needed. My mom's pattern, people, is to go back and forth, hate her sister, love me, now loving her sister and hating me. My aunt most definitely looks like the hero to anybody unwilling or unable to delve deeper into this whole sordid mess rather than just look at the surface of things. I admittedly was not perfect while desperately trying to deal with my sick mother 24/7, but how bad, here we go, people, how bad could I have been if several months ago, parentheses, before my aunt and I had our falling out because I refused to kiss her ass like I would normally do for the sake of my fragile mother who hated to see her sister and me not getting along, okay? How bad could I have been if several months ago, now that's in parentheses, my aunt was calling me a godsend to both my mom and my aunt, question mark. How bad could I have been treating my mom if my mom would get sectioned into these mental hospitals and tell staff there, total strangers, how wonderful I was. I would often meet hospital staff in person and hear them saying things to me like, your mother talks about you all the time, or all your mother does is talk about how much you help her, etc., etc., etc. Again, how bad could I have been, people? This is a joke. My mom entered the hospital and signed a release for me, and then suddenly I was told by my mom's case manager that my mom had revoked the release. My aunt had wanted nothing to do with my mom's care anymore. I was dealing with everything on my own. And then while my mom is locked up, my aunt is able to get guardianship and conservatorship over my mom, question mark. Are you kidding me, question mark. How is any of this even happening, question mark. I no longer have a mother, people. My mother has moved into her sister's downstairs apartment so that her sister can keep an eye on her and try to, quote, in quotation, make her well again. Don't think for 1 second that my mom isn't paying rent to her sister either, folks. My aunt can have my mom pay my aunt any amount my mom wants to be paid, right? That's true. Am I wrong about that? Of course not. My aunt can set any fucking amount for her apartment that she wants to. There are people in my court who know the whole sordid story, who know how hard I was trying to help my mom not wind up in another mental hospital, who know how I was working with my mom's primary care physician to come up with alternates. Oh, I should have had alternatives. To come up with alternatives to my mom being sectioned yet again after being yet again discharged too fucking soon from the latest mental hospital that had been her latest 3 to 4 week home. As far as I will ever be concerned, the doctors in these mental hospitals are guilty of elder abuse when they discharge my still very mentally ill, unstable mom against the wishes of my mom's family. Okay? My mom was diagnosed chronic schizophrenic 38 years ago when I was 10 years old. My mom has been in and out of mental hospitals ever since then. My mom's breakdowns are not my fault, and anybody who believes anything to the contrary is crazier than my aunt revels in making me out to be. My aunt has always reveled in making me out to be crazy. My aunt rejoiced when I got on disability and she finally got proof of how mentally ill she'd always known I was. Was my aunt granted permanent guardianship, conservatorship over my mom? ? How could it possibly be permanent and not temporary? Wouldn't other family members have the legal right to object to the guardianship and conservatorship? I'm only asking out of curiosity. My aunt has me by my figurative balls, and she knows it, in parentheses, because my love for the mother who was so good to me back when she still loved me would prevent me from ever fighting my aunt's newly gained complete power over my mom. I know for a fact that if I stirred up trouble, I would never be granted guardianship conservatorship over my mom. If I obtained a lawyer and stirred up trouble, a judge would probably revoke my aunt's power over my mom, but then my mom would wind up a ward of the state. No conflict in the family, nobody is suitable to be the guardian, if I stirred up trouble. I will not be the one to do that to my mother. It makes no difference to me if my aunt is my mom's guardian conservator or the state takes over these duties. If I fought my aunt, I would be fighting her out of pure spite, and I refuse to do that to my mom. If my delusional aunt is unable to, in quotations, make her sister well again, and ultimately has to put my mom in a nursing home, at least my mom will spend her remaining days inside that living hell, knowing that it was not me who caused her to be in there. And in light of all this, you'd think my aunt could just at least let me live here for free and just pay the goddamn utilities. She can't even throw me crumbs. She thinks she's throwing me crumbs because she, according to her text and her note to me, a 3-page sugary sweet note, she has no plans of evicting me, but I have to pay my own way. It's only fair, blah, 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 whatever. You can afford it. I know I can afford it. I don't want to be here. I'm tempted to just get rid of Omar. I'm sorry. I'm becoming heartless. I could leave in a heartbeat if I didn't have Omar weighing me down. This is what this life has turned me to. I tried so hard to help my mom, and this happens to me in the end. I can't even stay here like it's a fucking landlord-tenant situation where Auntie would be forbidden to turn off the heat and electricity. I have no rights at all after I was my mom's living caregiver for 4 years. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus! Are you kidding me, people? How is this even possible that I have no legal rights whatsoever in this situation? Auntie can force me. Instead of treating her like a tenant landlord, she can shut this stuff off of me according to the electric company, so I got it from the horse's mouth, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. Unreal. I don't see how this is even possible. I really don't. But my lawyer said also that there's nothing he can do. What do you want? I don't know what you want me to do. What is there to do? I'm not fighting her. I'm not fighting her because she's a fucking whatever. Evil. I'm not fighting her for the sake of my mom only. For the sake of the love that my mother used to have towards me. I've lost everything, and my aunt can't even fucking pay the utilities! Jesus! My aunt's relatively rich, my mom's relatively rich, I have no money, I want to get the fuck out of here, and you can't even pay the fucking utilities on this fucking place while I save up enough money to get the fuck out of here. Unreal. This is so unreal. It's unfucking believable. It's just unbelievable, people. It's unbelievable to me that I have no rights in this situation whatsoever. That she can do what you can't legally do in Massachusetts. The landlord can't turn off the heat and electricity on any tenant in the winter. Can't do it. But my aunt can do it to me. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why she's allowed to do this to me. I really don't understand. I thought I sent Karen 2 essays. I thought I had 2 essays. But I know I had 2 essays. That's what I posted, but then there was another one. I feel like I'm just being totally shit on in this life. I put myself in danger last night. You know, maybe Omar would just be better off without me. Dogs always adapt. Just like when he didn't have Donald anymore, he moved, and I went to the shelter. My mom took him in, and he loved her just the same. You know, dogs adapt. It's not like Omar would be screwed. Understand? I would miss Omar, but maybe I'm not in any emotional state to take care of him anymore. I don't say that to be mean. I'm just, you know, I cannot believe this is happening to me. My aunt can't just, I've lost everything. I don't want to be here. I have to be here with a constant reminder that my mother doesn't love me anymore, and my aunt can't even just pay and let me live here for free while I save up money. She won't do it. So I'm forcing her. I'm not going to call up ahead of time. You think I'm going to force her to shut everything off, and then I'll get it turned back on, but I sure as hell am not going to make it easy for her where she doesn't have to actually do it to me, that I would just call and say, put it in my name. No, I'm not going to make it easy for her. She can shut it off. She hasn't done it. I have no idea why. The note says, it's not like I haven't given you a heads up. It's Thursday. I'm shutting everything off. She hasn't shut anything off. She didn't even shut the Comcast off. I know she's going to shut that off. That's why this is my last chance probably to do these videos. No, I'm going to have her shut the heat and electricity off so I can create a video and tell you, yep, she did it. She thinks she's doing nothing wrong, and there's no reason why I shouldn't pay my own way, and I can afford it. She's missing the big picture. The big picture is I cannot stand to be here under these circumstances. You know? Jesus. Doesn't matter if I can afford it. Of course I can afford it. It's just I have to pay it, and I have to stay here longer because I've saved up less money. It'd take me longer to save up the money, see? Get it? Okay, here we go. Here's the other essay. Let's see if I have time. 74. It's like 6 minutes. It's going to run out. Okay. My aunt obtained guardianship over my mentally ill mother when my mother was confused, not taking her meds, bitter towards me for calling 911 on her when I genuinely feel there was something wrong with her, and she was refusing to voluntarily go to the hospital. I know, in quotations, because I am, in parentheses I mean, because I am smart enough to surmise exactly what went down inside those nuthouse walls, my aunt and mental hospital staff conspired to poison my mom against me. I lived with my mom as her caregiver for 4 years. My mother was sectioned into mental hospital 6 times over the past year for 3 to 4 weeks at a time. Both my aunt and my mom want to make me the scapegoat, parentheses, i.e. my sick mother would be fine if I was out of the picture. My mom's sister had been my mom's healthcare proxy for about 8 years or so. A few months ago, I received a text from my aunt stating that she didn't want to do it anymore. She was done with it, wished to concentrate on her own family, etc. I have a text from my aunt stating that I am my mom's daughter and I should be my mom's healthcare proxy rather than just the alternate as had been the case. I know my mom agreed with me that my mom was not being helped at all during her constant stays in... I know my aunt. I know my aunt agreed with me that my mom was not being helped at all during her constant stays in these mental hospitals where the psychiatrist assigned to my mom's case would inevitably wind up drastically changing around all her medications. In fact, when I told my aunt the mental hospital was discharging my mom and that my aunt should call my mom in order to determine whether or not my aunt agreed with me that my mom was not even remotely ready to be discharged, my aunt did as I had asked and texted me back 3 words: "She's fucked up." My aunt then called my mom's case manager at that hospital and left the following icy voicemail: "If that's the best you can do for my sister, transfer her elsewhere." I got that in a text from Auntie, so that's verbatim. My aunt also responded to my panicked text with the following matter-of-fact text: "You're her healthcare proxy. Call them up and tell them not to send her home. There's nothing I can do. She belongs in a nursing home." My aunt knew damn well that the doctors in these various hospitals were discharging my mom too soon and pretty much sending my mom home in the same condition she'd been in before being sectioned into these hospitals, where she would be treated and, quotations, supposedly get well enough to eventually come home. Prior to being sectioned into this hospital, my mom had been discharged from another hospital in such a horrible condition that she had to be sectioned again a mere 2 days later after returning home. So my mom was in 2 different mental hospitals virtually back to back with just 2 horrible for me days in between. Horrible, horrible, horrible days for me, people. I have been hands-on at all times my mom's been sectioned into these mental hospitals. I was my mom's biggest advocate long before my mom's sister resigned as my mom's healthcare proxy. My mom was even constantly telling hospital staff that I was my mom's healthcare proxy when I was merely the alternate. My mom told hospital staff this because my mom wanted me and not her sister to be her healthcare proxy. I immediately informed the latest hospital about how appalled I had been that the doctor in that last hospital had felt my mom, whom I could instantly tell was in a horrible mental state, was ready to be discharged. In the hopes of avoiding this hospital doing the same thing that the last hospital had shockingly done, I made sure to tell the staff at this hospital everything I wanted them to know. 3 weeks later, they discharged my mom way too soon, even if not in quite as bad a mental state as my mom had been discharged from that last hospital. I could see clearly that constantly being sectioned in mental hospitals and, quote, in quotations, sarcastic, treated by doctors who ultimately did not help her at all, was not even remotely benefiting my mom. So I met with my mom's primary care physician, and together the 3 of us, my mom, me, and her primary care physician, tried to come up with a plan to save my mom from having to be yet again sectioned into a, quotations, mental health facility and not helped at all. This is all that went down before my mom's latest time in this last hospital. Was she discharged too soon from this one? All I know is Friday my aunt texted me, "Your mom's not doing well," and now suddenly my mom's sent home. As far as I'm concerned, all these hospitals, the doctors in these hospitals that send my mom home in such horrible conditions, they are fucking guilty of elder abuse. But they have immunity. I mean, they have, what is it, impunity or something? They can do no wrong. They're not held accountable for anything. Nothing. Where then my life has to turn out like this. These hospitals switch around my mom's meds. They discharge her too soon. They put her on these brand new medications like lithium and don't even explain to the family that lithium toxicity could take place. I didn't even know what it was that was going on with my mom. You know, how would I know? I had no idea. You get it? They are guilty of so much, but they don't have to be punished at all. They are not held accountable for anything. Impunity. They have total impunity, these fucking doctors in these mental hospitals. And now the end result is this shit has to happen to me. Impunity. Exemption from punishment or freedom from the injurious consequences of an action. Yep. Sums it up. These mental hospital doctors can do no wrong. They switch around her meds. They take her off of this. They think they're arrogant. They put her on this. Instead of adjusting it, they switch everything around. They throw her on a medication like that one who discharged her in such a horrible condition. Everyone around her was appalled that the woman who takes care of Angel was like, I can't believe they think your mom that they would discharge her in this condition. I know. And they have impunity. They're not punished at all. And I told that last hospital what had happened to my mom in the previous hospital, and then that last hospital did the same goddamn thing. They repeated it. They did the same goddamn thing. So I'm left to deal with my mom coming home. She's not well. I know what happens, how she is when she comes home from these mental hospitals and she's well. She wasn't well from day one. But it's my fault she's got sectioned again. It's my fault. Fuck